Hey, what is up, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about how I'm planning on improving my speaking and kind of my thoughts around speaking in general, especially since I have a couple of videos in my YouTube where I can see kind of a bit of my progress. What I've noticed, at least if you guys go back to my first videos of me speaking in Spanish, I had a hard time like kind of expressing myself and kind of, I don't know, just getting my point across and all, which I think is quite normal in the very beginning. But as time went on, I feel like I've gotten at least a little bit better at expressing myself in Spanish. And what I think is kind of the main like mover or factor in terms of like actually getting better at speaking is like the base of input that you actually have. And what I've also noticed is that speaking more, I feel like doesn't really help because I did like a whole month of me doing Worlds Across and kind of spent a lot of time speaking. It was like what 30 hours in like 1 month or something like that. And I don't feel like I actually got better at speaking per se. I feel like I really got better at like the confidence of actually speaking in Spanish, but I don't feel like it actually helped my speaking in general. Like to actually be able to say words that I didn't know or like say sayings or express sayings that I didn't really know how to form to begin with. So I feel like all of those gaps that you have in like grammar and all that, I don't know if speaking actually really does anything. It's kind of like a projection of whatever you have in your input base that you kind of like have collected so far. And for that reason, I don't think speaking really helps too much, especially when it comes to actually improving in the language. And another thing to note is that I've noticed actually like between time periods, like now versus me looking at myself like a year ago or months ago, I can actually hear my mistakes more. I feel like my ears been become more tuned into like the actual mistakes that I was making, and I can actually hear like certain pronunciation mistakes and stuff like that that I couldn't hear at all at that time, like when I was actually like speaking at that time, which kind of is a testament of you getting better without necessarily having to speak. And I feel like there's not any other way to actually get that really sharp ear of listening and hearing your mistakes and actually auto correcting yourself without actually getting lots of input for you to be able to like really tune your ear into what exactly is the mistake that like you're actually saying in that very moment. And so because of that, I have been thinking about just taking like a silent period and not really speaking too much, which I kind of already started. I'm not really speaking too much since January, since like my whole trip through Latin America kind of ended. Part of the reason is because in US, I mean, most people won't speak to you in Spanish continuously, especially if they have really good English. They'll kind of like default to using English because you guys both speak it pretty well and it's like more comfortable for the two of you guys. So it's not too difficult to actually not speak it. Which I guess is a good thing and a bad thing. I guess it depends on what you guys think. But in terms of actually taking some silent period, it kind of helps because you can just kind of do your own thing and just kind of not really have to worry about speaking. And I'm taking more of a relaxed approach to things and kind of just speaking whenever like the time comes about. But I'm not really forcing myself into situations where I have to use Spanish at all. And it's pretty nice to do a bit of an experiment of not actually speaking for some time period and then coming back to it and seeing if it kind of improves my accent, which I feel like that's actually the case that's happened at least in the past. Like I've taken some time off or I didn't really need it to use the language for some time and I come back to it and I feel like I've gotten better at least. At least when I look at my past videos, I feel like I can actually see some improvement. And it'll be pretty cool to see if it's self-cleansing in terms of like bad habits, especially because you don't repeat those bad habits and you kind of take some space in between doing like bad habit A and like doing it like months later. You kind of build this new habit on top of it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you guys also doing kind of like a silent period or not really speaking because you don't really have to at this point? So you're kind of just like staying silent in general. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.